woke up all my neighbors. Okay, guys. Oh, that's doing it. Anyway, by the time I finally decided that I was free. Anyway, guys, I have to live with the hardest part of this story that still brings tears to my eyes to this day. I know my boyfriend just sort of doing this badly. Anyway, guys, I decided to, I went out with the Minion Boy. Remember, I couldn't get away from him. I feel like I was almost like Edmund from Narnia. I couldn't get away. Though I knew what they were doing was wrong. I can't justify it by cowering under Edmund from Narnia, but I feel like I was Edmund. I couldn't get away, and they were evil, and they were rotten. Anyway, guys, I went out to the mall with him like any other day. My heart just felt like something was so wrong. Guys, I was on Facebook, I got showered, I got dressed, and we went out to the mall. And he was really weird that day. So anyway, we're out at the mall, and he pulls a knife on me. And I'm gonna have myself. Anyway, he insists to go back to his house with him, which I'm gonna warn you guys. Like I said, I was starting to become afraid of them. I needed away from him, and I needed away from his mother bear, White Witch. And anywho, excuse me, I need pop. I just go back to see, hang out at his house with him. Guys, I want to warn all of you young women out there right now watching this video. Do not do something because he's bugging you about it. You're supposed to go meet his mother. Anyway, guys, we're down an alleyway, and he tries to assault me. Now, at this point, I'm not going to say I didn't like him trying to touch me. I'd be a liar. But it was new feelings for me, so I didn't like it. Anyway, guys, he pulls a knife out on me, which I'm like, excuse me? He says, you can pull your panties down or I'll cut your throat. I'm like, oh, but guys, not in that complete tense. I'm changing the words around a little bit out of fear. Like I said, I'm living in fear of this man to this day. Things are getting heated with him trying to, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the proper word, for sexually assault me. And my phone rings. I mean, we were having a good time, just kissing and hugging me and trying to touch me. So some of the stuff that the White Witch Dominion Boy was doing was consensual. But it started to get to the point where I didn't like it and I didn't want him to continue. Anyway, guys, my phone rang. And it brought me the news that would change my life for the rest of my life. Well, I was out basically being, I used to say this, basically being Edmund from Narnia's horror. Pay attention to my eye. But I think I was the Edmund in the story, not him. The person that I loved the most in this world next to my father died. Well, I was out being a horror, thinking, I'm just being a complete horror. Out with this scumbag guy holding a knife in my throat, trying to take my panties down. I'm fighting him off, and my phone rings. He says, oh, I love you, babe. I love you, answer it. And his sister's there at this point, too, so he's stopping touching me. Anyway, right. I go to answer the phone, and it's my brother. You guys know I have two brothers, so it's a little confusing. It's Derek saying that, have I checked Facebook lately? I'm like, no, why? He says that our aunt had passed away. So guys, while my aunt was asking for me, and where was I, I was being the White Witch Dominion Boy's whore, basically. I wouldn't call it whore. I mean, we were out on a date, but I think anybody who would go on a date with anybody who had anything to do with that White Witch is a bum. So basically, we were hanging out. We didn't do anything sexual. Like it was, in my opinion, it wasn't consensual. He was trying to do stuff to me I didn't want to do. You guys, mind you, my boyfriend's in the audience when he hears this video. So basically, he tried to assault me, this guy. At this point, I'm like, I'm not going with this. Guys, he tried to assault me 3 different times. I was not able to get away from him because he was a big guy and he knew my weakness was in my right ankle. So he would go over and he would kick me in my ankle. Kick me in my bad ankle. and then tell me that because I'm banging Spencer, I'm not going to use the word he used. Because like I said, when Spencer offered me to go home with him, I refused. Because I don't know Spencer. Guys, that wasn't even the right Spencer. Somebody else told me that Spencer was only a few years older than Gavin. He wasn't my age. That was a cop. But anyway, and he said to me, well, you must be a police officer banging whore. I'm sorry, guys, I'm using foul language. Anyway, that is the name the White Witch began to call me. Police officer banging hoe. And she would call me this. Now, guys, right before everything ended with the White Witch, I had a nightmare. I've dreamt that I was being abused by my stepmother. And I had to go back in time and get my old friends, and we had to go back in time to get the last version of my mother from the past that wasn't sick, to bring her to the future, because she was the only way to stop the White Witch's reign and terror. So I said, I'll do it. I said, if I have the power, I have the ability, I have my two friends with me, I can pull from the human abilities and go back in time and save my mother in the meantime as well, and get the White Witch out of my life forever. She won't be married to Daddy anymore. In real life, guys, my dad even said he hated this woman, but he's considered her. Anywho, guys, in the dream, I went back in time, and that's where this whole turns in. I go back in time and realized that we're back too far in reality, but it was supposed to be 2014. And you guys know, I go over and I see my mother, and she goes, police officer banging hoe. And she's like a zombie. I went, Mom, what? And I go, excuse me, and I see the man supposed to be my husband in my dream, but not in real life. Huh? And I see there's two little girls with him, and I realize that they're supposed to be my daughters. And I said to him, he said, do you want to get your mother back to your world? I said, yes. He said, you need to use their powers and their abilities. I said, I won't use their abilities. He said, it's from the maternal side of the family. You can use them to pull your mother, you, and all your friends and me and the girls forward. You can use this ability. You want the White Witch defeated? He said, your daughters are the key. I went, I can't. I won't use their body strength. It will kill them. I said, you know who you find? We're in 2006. And I find the little girl who is obsessed with those Sprouse twins. I said, there is another version of me that can do this. 14-year-old me. I said, go find her. I said, knowing her, she's probably watching Narnia, which in reality, guys, in real life, I was a very big Narnia fan at that age. I did find the little girl who loves Scandra Kings, and she'll be your key. Use me. But don't let her see adult me, and don't let her see those twins. Anyway, guys, I went back to my mother, and she was de-zombified and said, I will get that. She wants to call my daughter a police officer banging. That woman's got it. That was it, guys. This was a total dream. Anyway, in a dream, I grabbed everybody and went forward to the future, and my mother was there, making my father's marriage in a dream to the White Witch not possible, because my mother showed the paperwork and said, I am his legal wife. I don't know who this monster thing she is. At the end of the dream, my mother said to me, you take care of Carrie Ann, whatever this is about. So guys, I'm not a very religious person since this occurred with the whole White Witch and her Dominion boy, but hearing my mother say, take care, Carrie Ann. I know whatever this is, I will get you out. You are not useless. You are not waste of space. Because later on, guys, back to the real part. I dreamed the White Witch wanted to shave my head. Like I said, she made an appointment to shave my head. She made an appointment to have my hips shaved. I don't know if she really could have done any of this, by the way, without my permission. She even talked to a plastic surgeon or some doctor, gynecologist, to do a hysterectomy, which is when I flipped. And it's when they also began to get violent with me. Now, for the record, guys, I'm not a moron. And then the White Witch Dominion boy started asking to go along with my family care appointments with me. I'm not going to do that, guys. This is my body. This is my right. It's my body. Anyway, he wanted me to do things with my body I was not comfortable with doing. I began very afraid of him. So he did the one thing he knew he could hurt me with. He followed my father out to the car. He slit my tires of my 90-year-old cancer patient father's tires. Yes, guys, no, for the record, guys, my father probably did not have cancer yet. I know the date and the time. I was there when that gene mutated. I felt that gene of the cancer in my father mutate. It wasn't done yet. But anyway, guys, in modern time, my father's 90 years old almost, and he has cancer. And I think he has cancer. And guys, anyway, he threatened to kill my father if I didn't do what he says. And he said, how about this? He said, if you don't do what I say, I will kill your sister and your brothers and your sister-in-law and your niece. I have adult niece. I began to get so afraid of him. By the way, guys, I had a friend, by the way, and everybody told one of the women, I'm sorry, it was a witch, I'm trying to figure it out, told him that, I know you want to bop Carrie Ann's friend. You could probably do it because, she never kissed a boy before. This, that, and the third. So anyway, he comes over and he makes me my friend. My friend's not interested. My friend actually had a big crush on him. She kept telling me how lucky I was to be with him. She wanted him, but she was a girl being bullied by her mother. So anyway, he goes to my friend crying, saying, if Carrie Ann doesn't forgive me, I will never forgive you. You're fat, you're ugly, you're a piece of garbage. Why would I want you when I got the cream in the crop? Look at Carrie Ann and look at you. Now, guys, he called me like 60 times. I'm playing my Sims. I'm watching Narnia. Like, when am I not, right? And he's leaving all these really sweet voicemails. I can still remember answering the phone during when Edmund was at the White Witch's house at the... I remember my friend coming and answered. I paused the movie. He answered with, hey, hon. He was like, I'm sorry. He had sweet voicemail. Like I said, it was a guy named Peter. He kept accusing me of messing with. He said, I'm sorry. Are you with Peter? I'm like, no, that's really creepy because I'm watching Narnia. He's like, you're with Peter. He's like, please come home to me. I'm like, first off, dude, we don't even live together. I don't even know you very well. Anyway, guys, he accused me of having an affair with an actor, but for legal reasons, I'm not going to say which actor because I don't want to get sued by him. He's a married actor now, too. So anyway, guys, he began to get physically abusive with me. Like I said, he heard I had a relationship with Jake up the street. Did I just say that guy's real name? Okay, yes. I have like 3 neighbors named Jake up the street. I know one in middle school. He's not the one we're talking about. There's another Jake up the street. I was calling him Jack, Jake, John, same thing, right? Anywho, that guy, Jack up the street. Well, I'm just going to say it was confusing. So he knows about Jake. He knows that, I guess my boyfriend doesn't know about him, but I guess he does now. Don't worry, guys. Jake is gay, for the record, but we didn't know that at the time. And my boyfriend at the time starts yelling at me, accusing me of having a relationship with Jake. Never happened. The man is gay, which I can respect. Gorgeous, but gay is a porn code. Anyway, he says to me, I don't appreciate you, ... and Jake. I'm like, what? So one day we're all out at this supermarket, and he starts yelling at me, saying, you did it with Jake. I know you did. He said you dressed like a ... for Jake. And I'm like, I don't know Jake. I've seen Jake twice. I'm like, I don't know Jake. He's like, you did it with him. You're a piece of garbage. Which, I mean, guys, I have a boyfriend now, mind you. I'm saying that through the whole video. I have not seen Jake in like 9 years. But anywho, that was a rumor going on there about me and Jake. I would never mess with Jake. Ugh. Not as though Jake's gorgeous, it's just Jake's gay. Jake's not really my type. Anyway, and I have a boyfriend who is the opposite of Jake in every way. Anyway, I'm not name dropping my boyfriend's name because he's a YouTuber, but whatever. Anyway, guys, so he starts grabbing my wrist and says, you're a Jake, insert Jake's last name, pounding slur, as he grabs my wrist. So I'm like, complete that. What am I? Sorry, guys, refrigerator in the background. So anyway, guys, I guess I'm going to background. Anyway, so we go outside, and it's freezing out, it's raining, and I'm mad, and the White Witch comes over and says, what, did you talk about her? He's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, he accused me of banging it with Jake again. My friend Joanna was there, and she's like, what? Did Carrie Ann, you win. I'm like, no, I win. Hick's gay. Anyway, he was obsessed with Jake our entire relationship. Anywho, I mean, he also accused me of doing it with someone named Gary, but there was no Gary than Gary Ann. Admit it. Back to the story. Anyway, the White Witch keeps telling me, oh, he's the only guy you're ever going to get. You never had a real boyfriend. You wouldn't know what it's like to be with a real guy. XYZ, you know, those women bash and crap. She called me up 3:30 in the morning to talk about the little boy that got shot, Gavin. She touched Gavin's willy. I'm dead serious, guys. You guys know what I mean by that. When Gavin was shot, he had an erection, and she went over and was rubbing Gavin's willy of a dead 13-year-old boy. Guys, Gavin shares a lot of the same bones with, I don't know if I ever gave a cover name for this kid. Anyway, Spencer and Alvin share a lot of the same bones. Somebody I used to like back in my day, in my childhood years, who also had a brother who was shot. But anyway, guys, I told them, a lot of people hold the other version against me because I was madly infatuated with the brother who killed his little brother. But Alvin was also gay. Alvin was gay too, guys. But anyway, he found out about Alvin and flipped out on me. Anyway, guys, I went to church and prayed for God. I know this was a place. I prayed to God to help me get out of this relationship. This was an abusive relationship. He even said to me one time, I bet you'd bop the guy in Narnia if you could. If you guys know me, you guys know I've made up some really crazy stories in my life about stuff, but I'm not making this up. I would never lie about this story. Anyway, I went to church. Anyway, I got sick that night. The day we all went out to walk in the rain to get the White Witch some lunch and crap. I got walking pneumonia and almost died. But guys, it was a blessing. Got the White Witch out of my life. The White Witch also made me go to her mother's funeral when my aunt just died. Anyway, guys, I ended up getting to the point where I was tired of... I don't even have a cover name to use for Dominion Boy. Because like I said, the name he gave me was bogus. Anyway, so when we went to church, me and my friend Joanne, I prayed to get these two people out of my life. Because as long as I was dating him, the White Witch was going to be in my life. Anyway, guys, he broke up me in a text. He's like, you know what? You're an XYZ, and I only want to bang you. And said, you won't bang me. You're an XYZ. You know, you did it with that actor. You know you did it with that actor. I'm like, what? And he even told my friend's mother, do you know how it feels when your girlfriend lies about doing it with an actor? Do you know how that makes me feel in my heart that my girlfriend lied about sleeping with that actor? And I was like, what? I said, look, if I was going to do it with anybody in that actor's friend group, it would be actor XXXYZ. I'm not going to say here in this video. But you guys know I talk about him all the time. And I'm like, yeah, that's lousy. Guys, I confronted with this man about my friendship breaking up. Me making up some crazy stories about for an actor. Anyway, guys, this video is much too long, and it's more than a half hour long. So, guys, like I said, I ended getting away from him, and then the White Witch and I ran into each other again when I was out with my ex-boyfriend, and she poisoned him against me too. I was out with him, and I saw the White Witch, and I was afraid, naturally. I'm basically Edmund from Narnia. Of course I was scared. Guys, in a lot of ways, I am more like Edmund than I thought. Anyway, guys, so she tells my new boyfriend, hey, I know your girlfriend, she's a hoe, she's all this, that, and the other. And my boyfriend comes back over to me and says, you're a piece of garbage. You slept with, well, I was going to say Skander for a cover name for the actual guy. And you're a whore, and you're a bum, and you're everything dirty, and that's why you slept with which is Dominion Boy, another guy. That's why you slept with him, blah, blah, blah. And he broke up with me. He wanted to go do things at underage, substitutes, and I was not going down with that. Okay, guys, anyway, the story's all over the place, but how I eventually got rid of them was I prayed, and I actually did for a while turn away from religion because of this. I turned away from God or Aslan because I thought to myself, if there was a God or Aslan, this situation never would have happened. But guys, in the end, I proved that I was more like Edmund than I thought because she was scoping out young, special needs girls that he could rape. The White Witch Dominion Boy could rape for the Dominion boy. She says, I get them to you, and then you rape them, and they cry, just punch them in the face. You can tie them up, you can slap them around. Well, when she told him he could rape me without my consent, well, when he attempted it, I said no and hit him. Anyway, guys, she hooked him up with a couple other girls, and there's a special needs girl. She hung around named Luann it was. Anyway, guys, I pray that she wasn't setting Luann up with guys, because she enables a rapist. She's a rapist, and so is he. Anyway, guys, if a guy named Will and Lawrence are out there, I owe you guys the biggest thank you of my life. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be alive. Guys, Will and Lawrence saved my life, because they're the ones who told me about the White Witch and how evil she was, and about the Dominion boy. And they said, no, Carrie Ann, we're telling you, he rapes and beats up. He rapes women and beats up old men. Go, guys, that was another factor. The Dominion boy has a record for beating up old men and raping their daughters and getting them pregnant. Didn't know any of this. He never told me he had a criminal record. Anyway, if Lawrence and Will are watching this video, I owe you guys a thank you. Not their real names. Unfortunately, I can't give their real names, because it might give out who the White Witch and the Dominion boy really are. But if you men are watching this video, thank you. You are my guardian angels when I needed one. And I will forever be in your debt, because you saved my life. They saved my life, guys. Because I found out later on the White Witch was planning on murdering me. I am dead serious. She was planning on the Dominion boy to rape me, and then when he was done, she was going to bash my brains in. And I am not kidding. I found this out later on. She wanted a sacrifice she could kill. Now, guys, just because I'm legally blind doesn't mean, almost legally blind, that my life doesn't count. It doesn't mean that I'm worthless. Now, guys, I tried all I could to try to make up for this wrong. I will stand up. I will put all the wrongs right. I will help those girls that she tried to get another girl, a young girl's name I'm not going to say on here, and she tried to basically do that with her. I warned her, don't go to the White Witch. She's evil. She'll give you false promises. She's like the woman in Narnia, hence to where the nickname comes from. And I may have saved that girl from becoming another me. I know my boyfriend probably wants to reach out and hug me while I'm making this video, but it is okay. Guys, because of Will and Lawrence, I got to turn 26. I got to turn 27. I got to turn 28. I got to turn 29. And I got to turn 30. In a few months, I will be turning 31, all because they spoke up and defended me. Guys, this video is getting much too long, but, yeah. And guys, I had another friend who tried this crap with me and tried to set me up to get me raped as well. But now the White Witch knew the girl was going to do it. So she said, Carrie Ann, I think she's going to set you up to be raped. But then she did the same thing. But that girl, Brianna, that wasn't her name. I'm trying to think of what the camera name for her real quick. Brenda is a good story for another day. Guys, I also saved my friends from being raped by Brenda and her friends. When I knew that this is what Brenda does, the same thing the White Witch does, I called up my 4 special needs friends, and I told them, well, my friends have autism, my friends have epilepsy, one of them. And I called them up, and I told them, and they said, Carrie Ann, they said, we take what you're saying to be a sign from God. We know you have our back, and the 4 of us love you. And they even all started to cry and said, the 4 of us love you. If we knew you were being abused, 3 out of 4, the one hates me. The 3 out of the 4 said, we love you. We would have done anything to keep you safe. Why didn't you reach out to us? You've seen Ashley, my friend Ashlyn. And Ashlyn said, why, Carrie Ann? You could have reached out to me. I would have helped you. I would have helped you out of that abusive relationship. As Ashlyn's other friend was in an abusive relationship as well. But guys, this is a very emotional video, so I'm going to call it here. And that is a story how I, just like Edmund in Narnia, was captured by the White Witch. And how I survived. But if you like this kind of content, or my normal kind of content, I'm going to comment, like, share, subscribe. Go and hit that bell. Every time I upload. Remember, guys, none of this in the story is unfortunately fake. I'm lucky I did get away from being nearly raped. But that was their plan, was to rape me and then to murder me, which is evil. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry to make this video so long. And honey, if you're watching, to my boyfriend, I am so sorry. Guys, I do want to announce my boyfriend's name, but he didn't give me permission to. But until my next uploaded video, I love you all. Remember, you can defeat the White Witch just like I did, just like Edmund did in Narnia. You can defeat her because I'm living proof. Goodbye, guys.